Hello everybody, Namaste. In this video, I would like to talk about Saturn remedies, what kind of approach you can take towards Saturn remedies and what are various remedies that you can do. So before I start off with the Saturn remedies, I would like to start off with this mantra, Om Trayambakam Jamahe Sugandham Pushtivardhanam Urvarme Vandana Mrityor Mokshe Mamrida. So this mantra is basically dedicated to Lord Shiva, and in this we pray to Lord Shiva saying that, Dear Lord Shiva, break off the bonds that bind me down and then kindly grant me moksha. And that's like the best mantra for the entire of Shani Mahadasha or any of the Shani periods that you're running. You want to continue to chant that mantra over and over and over again. And even if you go to most astrologers, what they would say is they would ask you to do a Mahamrityunjaya Homa. Now, Mahamrityunjaya Homa, they will say the priest will do it for you. You do not have to do the chanting, or maybe you just need to be present. If you adopt any of those approaches, it won't really work. Okay, you have to get into the chanting and you have to recognize who Lord Shiva is. So if you are a non-Hindu or if you do not understand who Lord Shiva is, just study a little bit about Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is an ascetic, remember? So based on him, this remedy has been devised, and you want to develop that intense devotion for Lord Shiva, and you want to continue to pray and worship him, and then you want to worship him through this mantra, and then you want to worship that through that entire silent period, maybe by adopting a routine practice, like maybe 108 times per day, chanting 108 times per day or 12 times per day. That's like one of the best and the most efficacious ways of dealing with this. Because you see, when you run a Saturn period or when you run any unfavorable period of any graha, basically what the grahas do, they catch hold of your consciousness. They are actually not planets. They are beings that catch hold of your consciousness and that make you behave in a certain way. Therefore, you end up attracting certain bad events or bad outcomes into your life. Or they catch hold of the consciousness that is around you, and then they end up causing certain kinds of obstacles for you. So that's really how grahas work. And one of the easiest and one of the best ways to remedy is to do a mantra sadhana. That is why in the ancient India, all people, obviously, now there's a lot of controversy around the caste system, which isn't what people think it is as of today. It was a completely different system, and it was not determined by birth. There was a lot of things that went into it. So basically, the top three castes, all right, where all the people from the top three castes were recommended to go through a mantra sadhana. That is, your Brahmins, your Kshatriyas, and your Vaishyas. They were put into a mantra sadhana from their early childhood. So the mantras varied for different people and different communities. It really changed. Or if it wasn't for the mantras, it was something else. But for Brahmins, for example, it was the Gayatri mantra. So the reason for that is because the mantra sadhana works. Mantra sadhana is a method of atonement. It is a method of atonement. It is a method of seeking prayaschitta. And then the second thing is it basically focuses on the deity that basically could have control over that particular planet, and it helps resolving that karma. So in that case, for Shani Mahadasha, it is Lord Shiva, and so you want to worship him with the Mahamrityunjaya mantra as much as possible. So that's the first remedy. Now, the second remedy for Saturn Mahadasha or Saturn period is based on what Maharishi Parashara says in his Parashara Horus Shastra. So, depending on various Dasa Bhuktis, he recommends the donation of cows. So, usually during a Saturn period, it's recommended that you donate a black cow to charity. Now, the black cow, how we want to do that is see the reason why it works is pretty simple. A black cow in the modern generation as we speak today, as I shoot this video, it's 2021. It usually costs about 80,000 rupees. So now 80,000 rupees cow could give an income of about 20,000 a month for a family that's struggling. You got it? So with the milk it basically generates. So you're basically creating an asset and you're giving away an asset for people. So you could probably do that. if it is possible, and if you can find a family who will be able to take it up. Otherwise, what you do is you go to a goshala. There are places where cows are protected, and you want to start giving them greens. You want to give these cows grass. So that might be a way, and then pay towards the goshala to take care of cows. So that's another remedy that you want to do. So these are the two remedies that's recommended by Parashara Hora Shastra. Then in the other astrological texts, there are other remedies that have evolved, and then the modern day astrologers also use relevant remedies based on what they have observed that's worked for their clients and worked for people. So work for themselves. So basically, the other remedies that usually work for Saturn Mahadasha is apart from mantra sadhana and apart from giving cow to charity, the third thing is give away items of black in color. So items of black in color, as in give away all the black clothes that you have, give away black items that you could possibly own. Then avoid buying black items, avoid accumulating black items for yourself. Avoid wearing black clothes because you may end up attracting bad luck. And only if you were to wear a black cloth, make sure that you're wearing it when you go to Sabrimala and not to any of those other places. So that's another way of approaching it. Then you want to serve the poor. So Saturn represents the working class. Saturn represents the labor class that basically takes care of the labor that's usually undesirable. So the people that clean pits, the people that take out garbage, the people that work as bare bones servants, with and then the handicapped people. So you want to look at helping them, you want to support them, and you want to bless them so that they can keep blessing you. So that's another way of approaching Saturn. All right. So these would be the general remedies. Then of course, the remedy of feeding the crows, because crows again are a representative of Saturn. Remember, they're black in color. They're very highly intelligent beings. So you want to feed crows every day before your meal whenever you're running a Saturn period. It really works efficaciously. All right. So then, of course, helping Saturn-based people, helping as many Saturn-based people as possible, avoiding black-based items, then going slow. So not riding a vehicle very fast, making sure that you go slow, go cautiously. Do not try to show that you are the best. Do not try to prove that, not try to prove your speed, because that's really when certain implications usually come in the way. So you want to, and then finally would be to go to temples, especially on Saturdays, and then spend as much time as possible on Saturdays in a mood of surrender, along with the days when you run your Saturn nakshatras. So the three Saturn nakshatras. During those nakshatras, you want to make sure that you you're basically adopting a renounced mindset, a renunciation mindset. It's not about you being accumulating. You want to give and you want to be in service. So that's the kind of mindset. So do donations, and then seva as in charitable work, as in volunteering for an NGO. So in the Saturn period, one of the best things that you can do is to go and help mentally destitute people and help disabled people. So with that, I would like to share one personal experience that I had. So when I was running a unfavorable Saturn period and I was going through struggles, I mean, this was before I was already running a Saturn period, but the unfavorable period had not started. It had not gotten into its deep depth point. At that time, I wanted to volunteer at an NGO, and I had applied for the NGO and I had gotten in, and everything was through. And then initially, one of the people came up and asked me, "Would you be able to take care of disabled people on Saturdays?" Now, to me, on Saturdays, I had some other commitments that I already wanted to fulfill, and I really, because Saturday was a weekend, I really didn't want to, cut into weekend time and then do volunteering. So what I said was, no, I would rather look at teaching children on Wednesdays or Thursdays. I think teaching young children, and I took up that offer. Now, it is after that I did, right? Like a few months later, I had got into a bad accident, and then I went through all my Saturn-based implications. So usually you get this guiding light. You usually get this guiding light. So what you want to do is you want to look at that, and then now in retrospection, I feel that was like the ideal opportunity. If I had been there, if I had been in that Saturn space, and then offering seva, offering service for those Saturn based people, Saturn would have been, you know, it would become a little bit happy. So then of course you want to go to the temples for Saturn, dedicated to Saturn. Now again, when you go to temples dedicated to Saturn, there are people that do all kinds of remedies that I haven't frankly seen prescribed in any of the texts. So it usually only has a pure psychological effect. Now the other things that I said actually has a material effect. All right, all these other things that I had said. But this one might be purely psychological, and again, it based depending on people's belief systems. So what they do is they tie a piece of cloth. It's usually sold in those Saturn temples. They tie it around, and then what they do is they circle it around their heads, and then they throw it in the fire, hoping Saturn would relieve them of their problems. Now, first thing, maybe though that remedy works. Frankly, I have not seen it work. But what really works is when you go to the Saturn temple and then when you approach Lord Saturn with a sense of humility and then say, I have done mistakes that I am unable to correct and I'm experiencing the fruits of those mistakes. Kindly forgive me and then show me a path out. Show me a path out. I will rectify this. Show me a path out. Show me a path out where you help me, where you strengthen me, and where you don't damage me. Just show me a path and I will rectify it. And then you pray, you sincerely pray. So that's when it really works. And you can go to a Saturn temple, or you can go to one of Shiva's temples, Lord Shiva. You can worship Lord Shiva. So that would be the remedies. Now the other remedies, what I would say is the two mantras. One would be the Vishnu Sahasranama Sadhana, and also possibly the Gayatri Mantra Sadhana. Gayatri Mantra Sadhana should be only applied if you are initiated. If you are not initiated, I would still hesitate towards prescribing the Gayatri Mantra, because while the mantra works, there is a reason why it was stated in the scriptures that it should only be used by people who have been initiated. And I know in this present day and age, everybody, all these modern gurus are basically saying that you can also do it, and they are promoting the use of Gayatri Mantra everywhere. And Gayatri Mantra is also sung in a it's sung, it's not chanted. I have hesitations and repressions about it. I do not know. If you are someone who's experienced and who has more knowledge, you might be able to share it in the comment section. Let me know. Vishnu Sahasranamam, everybody can do. So that's another sadhana that you can take up. So these things will help remedy your Saturn problems. Remember, helping crows, donation to the poor, donation to the hardworking class, donation to handicapped people, then actually going and volunteering in those institutions where these people exist. Then, of course, the mantra sadhana. Then, basically going and uh, falling at the feet of the Supreme with the mindset that I want to remedy this, forgive me, atonement. You know, so that's another thing. And then possibly maybe giving up non-vegetarian food if it is not in your karma. So if you're born into a non-vegetarian family and you have to eat non-vegetarian, you want to at least avoid non-vegetarian on Saturdays. But if you're born into a vegetarian family and you end up eating non-vegetarian, it's it's going to cause implications and repercussions. So you better correct when you get this insight. At least you better correct yourself, because you're not accumulating good merit. So you want to focus on these things to help overcome the troubles during Saturn Mahadasha. I wish you the best. May God guide us all towards moksha. All the best. Thank you.